This is Ellen Israelson, Vice President of Philanthropic Services at the Jewish Communal Fund, and I'm delighted to be presenting this webinar today. I want to welcome all of our fund holders. It's very important to us at Jewish Communal Fund that we do more than simply manage a donor-advised fund. We aim to be a vital source of information on charitable giving to empower our fund holders and help them achieve their philanthropic goals. In fact, one of the things that sets JCF apart from other donor-advised funds is our commitment to providing philanthropic education and innovative tools to help our fund holders be smarter, more thoughtful, and more effective with their charitable giving. The new services that we will present today, Goodnation and Jgive, are being offered to you free of charge as part of JCF's menu of value-added services to enhance your philanthropy. Representatives from each of the partner organizations will explain the services, and you'll be able to type in your questions after each speaker concludes their remarks by clicking the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Now, some of you may already be familiar with Goodnation, an independent philanthropic advisory service that's separate from Jewish Communal Fund. In September, JCF and Goodnation launched the Jewish Philanthropy Project, and now I'm pleased to say a number of our fund holders are using it to focus their area of interest and find high impact charities that match these interests. I'd like to introduce the founder of Goodnation, Rob Hansen, who'll explain a little more about how Goodnation works. Rob has over 20 years of experience in philanthropy. He is dedicated to the simple idea that if people support what they care deeply about, it will be good for them and for those they are helping. Rob began his own journey into causes as a teenager by founding his high school's Amnesty International group. Since then, he has worked at all levels of not-for-profits and served on numerous not-for-profit boards. As development director, Rob raised funds from leading New York City foundations and ultimately joined the Robin Hood Foundation, where he worked for 5 years. At Robin Hood, he came to understand the power of engaged philanthropy and the importance of measurable impact. And I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about that and how this plays out at Goodnation. Rob?
Hi there. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much. And welcome to everybody who's joining us on the webinar. Very excited to be here and to tell you a little bit about Goodnation and how we can perhaps help as we enter into giving season. Giving Tuesday is a pretty incredible day. I'm not sure if your inboxes are as full as mine, but quite a powerful day already. And we're really here to help you think about your giving and try to make it more meaningful, thoughtful, and impactful. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we do that here at Goodnation and the services we can provide, both in terms of philanthropy advisors, and you're going to meet Emily Ball from my team, who's going to do a portion of our demo today. And you're also going to see the Goodnation platform, where we have a good number of very, very, very strong groups. So we actually have been working with, oops, hold on. One sec, just slight adjustment here. So we think a lot about the challenge that donors have when seeking to give within our landscape. So there are 1.5 million nonprofits in the US. That's a pretty big number to try to figure out which one is going to do or be meaningful for you and which is going to be impactful. A big question for us is which of these is making the greatest impact? And so about a year ago, we started working with Jewish Communal Fund on the Jewish Philanthropy Project. As Ellen mentioned, it officially launched in September, and we do have JCF fund holders in the project using our recommendations and funding pretty amazing groups. So a big sort of an epiphany at Goodnation when we were founded was the realization that there are there's a great deal of expertise within the foundation community. These are foundations you may have heard of, groups like Avihai, Schusterman Foundation, it could be Lipman Camphor, Upstart, Natan. So groups that have spent or are spending a good amount of resources to try to figure out who's doing incredible work in a given area, who is really doing powerful work and having an impact. And so in the project, we brought together 10 leading foundations and together created over 150 options. And those are charities that are each and every one of them working in their own distinct way, but incredibly effective, incredibly impactful. And what we've done on the Goodnation platform and in the project is organize them so it's very, very easy for any donor, any JCF fund holder to go through a process, and Emily's going to take you through the specific process, to find what's meaningful, and then to dig into it, to learn about it, learn about leadership, learn about governance, learn about impact, and then choose to become a supporter. So our goal really is for every single donor with whom we work to be able to, based on that donor's values and that donor's specific interests, your interests, help you find what's most meaningful. We also work with families, so we do multi-generational work. So in some cases that senior philanthropist, a new generation is joining, we can work with the entire family. And again, in a very bespoke process to make sure each member of the family with shared values could identify the kind of work that's really going to be powerful in their view. So we do this with an advisor. So Emily Ball is with us here today, and she's going to walk us through the Goodnation platform and how it works, so you can actually get a little bit of a taste of what you can experience should you choose to work with us. Emily?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, as Rob mentioned, so I'm a philanthropy advisor with our team at Goodnation. And so I really am here to help offer personalized assistance to donors that work with us to help them throughout their giving. As you'll see, Goodnation combines technology with that human side to really make sure you can develop and implement your philanthropic goals. So let's dive in. I'm going to take you onto the platform and into the first step of our process. So with our partnership with JCF, you'll all get a link to this after the webinar today, but it's our giving survey. And that's what we've designed to really get to know who you are as a donor more personally than we might just through email or some communication. We asked some really thoughtful questions and asked you to take just a few minutes to give some thought to your values and the interest areas that matter to you the most. So this is the start of the survey. I've pre-filled some of this information, but we'll just ask for basic information about you. And then we want you to really take some time and think about the values that motivate your giving. Here at Goodnation, we think a lot about values and really consider them core to the process of finding organizations that will really match your interests and the change you hope to create. As we mentioned, through our Jewish Philanthropy Project, we do incorporate Jewish values into this process. So as those apply to you, you're able to choose those and many others from those that we feature on the platform. So for the sake of our demonstration today, I've gone through and chosen a few of my values. We asked you to limit it to 3 to 5 if possible, so we can sort of start narrowing down some matches for you. So you'll see I chose Jewish community. I came in and chose dignity and learning under hard work and accomplishment. Community is really, really important to me, so I chose that. Came down and chose health, which is another one that I'm thinking a lot about right now. Coming on then to cause areas, we cover over 32 cause areas on the platform, so the full range of issue areas that donors care about. Some across the spectrum, like as you'll see as we go through here, hunger and the environment, but also Jewish causes and those that we've identified through our Jewish Philanthropy Project as really important causes to support within the Jewish community. So going through again, we asked you to narrow down and choose your top cause areas or those you're interested in exploring. Our process is really flexible, and I just want to point that out too. We work with many donors at different stages of their giving. So this process may mean you're choosing almost all the cause areas because you're just starting out and you want to sort of explore everything that's out there. Or you may be coming to us because there's a very specific cause area or something new that's happening in the world that interests you, and you want a little help getting to who the great charities are addressing that issue. So this survey process allows you to decide what kind of giving you're looking for and to provide that information. So as you'll see, I've come and chosen a Jewish cause of Israeli society. I've come through and decided not looking at education today, but I'd love to look at early childhood and focus on those early years. Definitely want to look at hunger. I live in New York. I'm really concerned about hunger, especially this time of year. Skipping a few of these other options and then saying yes, environment is definitely top of my mind right now. I've decided I want to look at a mix of Jewish organizations and other. That's your choice. You can also pick to do all of your giving to Jewish causes. That'll indicate to us only to present organizations that identify as working in the Jewish community. There's an option here for you to tell us about other causes you're interested in if you don't see what you're interested where your interests are here. That's another part of what we do. So we populated our platform with hundreds of options, but we're also here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. And we actually really like those challenges and going in and helping you focus in on an area that matters to you. The final page of the survey is just a little extra information for us to, again, narrow down on what your interests are. We asked where you'd like to have your giving impact. For me, that's local for the most part here where I live in New York. But I'm also interested in looking at some international organizations. I've written in Israel as another area that I'm interested in finding charities working in. And I've thought a little bit about my giving level, which is something that we do ask for you to provide or at least think about with through this process and with your philanthropy advisor, so we can help really craft a plan that would work for you. I'm interested in volunteering. That's a huge part of Goodnation's approach. We think meaningful engagement with organizations is really, really important. Sometimes that's just financial, but a lot of times it's other pieces of involvement. So be that volunteer engagement or other ways that you can be a part of their work. So I definitely want to flag that so that they'll help me find some groups I can engage with. Coming through JCF, we'll know that you're a fund holder, so that'll be indicated on your survey, and so we'll know right away that you will be making your recommending your grants through that vehicle. So all you do is submit this here. That gets sent to us at Goodnation and directly to a philanthropy advisor. So you'll hear from us with access to the Goodnation platform. That's where you'll be able to log on and explore the initial organizations that our platform has matched you with, based on all the information you provided. And you'll also have a chance to speak and meet with a philanthropy advisor. As I mentioned, our approach is really a pairing of technology and human personal assistance to make sure you have all the support you need to make really, really impactful giving decisions. So you can choose to talk to a philanthropy advisor before using the platform. You can hop right on and explore some of those options, or we can start the whole process together. That is totally up to you. So once you've done that survey, we're going to send you your login information. For today, I'm going to log in and show you all what popped up for that survey that we did as this demonstration. And voila, this is the personal portfolio that was set up for me based on the survey I just did. As you can see, it has my name, obviously. It knows a little bit about how much I want to give because of what I mentioned in the survey. And it's matched me with an initial selection of organizations that both align with those values that I mentioned in my survey, but also the key cause areas I'm interested in supporting, the key locations I want to support work in, and all that information has come into these matches. So sort of look through, I can get a sense of some of these, and I see Grow NYC, Hazon, I understand those are wonderful environmental organizations. I'm seeing lots of early childhood groups. I'm seeing some groups in Israel. So I can sort of get a sense of that here on my portfolio dashboard. And then I can pop in and look further at any of these organizations. So Hazon is one we talk about a lot and a lot of folks are interested in. So I can come onto the charity page, which will tell me much more about the mission, how they work, who their leadership is. It'll also tell me more about some of the foundations that support them. Like Rob mentioned, when we embarked on this Jewish philanthropy project, we worked with many leading foundations. And so we pull data from them to help inform our review of the charities. So you can learn more about those foundations here as well. And most importantly, you can really read about the impact these nonprofits are having. See a little bit more about how they approach the work, what their main goals are, and how you can really be a part of that work. If you scroll here, each organization is vetted by Goodnation. Any organization that is on the platform has already passed our process of vetting both financial and governance health and also program impact. So you can get a bit more detail here, and that's really, really important to us. We really want donors to be able to spend their time and find a lot of joy and meaning in finding organizations that are having really high impact. But we understand to do that, they have to be financially sound and healthy in those other ways. So we ensure all of the organizations that we recommend have passed through that process. So coming back here, I can come back to my under consideration list. I can look at all of these organizations. I can decide, there's another kind of topic I thought about that maybe it's worth looking at today. The arts, for instance, or, I can come through and search by all of the cause areas that we have on the Goodnation platform. I can search by values. I can think about, I talked about Jewish community earlier. What if I just searched by that and found other organizations? Maybe there's those that are centering that in their work, but are in a cause area I hadn't thought about supporting. I can look at foundations, so those foundations that we partner with to find and vet high impact organizations. They're all on our platform, and you can search and see more about who they're funding. I can search by the area the organization is impacting, and of course I can limit also the options to Jewish organizations or other religiously affiliated organizations. And as soon as you're ready to make some funding decisions, that's really easy to do on the platform. And you can also, throughout this process, have the personal assistance of a philanthropy advisor. So again, it's really flexible for what works for you. But I want to just show really quickly what the process is when you are ready to fund an organization. It's really as simple as adding to your giving list here. That'll start a list here on this tab. You'll decide the amount you'd like to give. It's Giving Tuesday. I'm feeling very generous. I'll give $5,000. I'll pay by check. My name is good here. And then simply hit Give Now. And that is going to send that through the platform. It'll become part of my portfolio. And it will also ping your philanthropy advisor, who will then send you the instructions for recommending that grant through JCF. So we've designed a really simple process with JCF to make that as easy as possible for you. So once you decide how you'd like to, the groups that you'd like to fund, either on the platform or with your advisor, we send you those instructions to get those grants processed. And after you've made your gifts, it's really important for us that the process doesn't stop there. We think giving is a relationship, and whether you're interested in volunteering or being deeply engaged, we definitely think you should understand the impact of your gift once it's made. So all giving through the platform is given impact updates 3 times a year. So anytime you give to an organization, be it 1 or 10 or 20 organizations, you'll get those impact updates. Those will be a part of your platform portfolio, and you'll also hear from your philanthropy advisor with tailored updates based on the areas you're interested in or any projects of interest and all those sorts of things. And we'll also be in touch for other opportunities, again, around engagement, be it a site visit or other ways to really get to know an organization's work more closely. So that is the platform, a quick demo of the platform. I'll turn it back over to Rob just to close things out here.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, so we wanted to just quickly review cost. Happy to announce, as Ellen, or sort of second what Ellen said, we are excited to provide all our services for JCF Fundholders at no cost. And so we can actually skip over this slide because there's no cost to you. And just to quickly review, so here's how you work with Goodnation. We work together to figure out your core values, what you care about, what you've done so far, how we can fit in new additional groups. As Emily pointed out, we're excited to work with people that, whether you're just beginning your journey, whether you've been on your philanthropic journey for a long time, or maybe interested in exploring a new area, something's happened that has really piqued your interest, or a need has come to your attention and you want to act. So a wide range of kind of ways in which we can help. But it really begins with, let's figure out some information about where you are in that journey and what matters deeply to you. We do benefit from the information on our platform. There's now over 500, and it's growing every day. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 580 now. I know the specific number. 580 charities on the platform, and continues to grow. Geographic coverage, cause coverage, 32 cause areas. So we then can, with that information, provide what we think are really powerful matches. You also can just go and explore the platform, as Emily had pointed out. And throughout this whole experience, we have advisors who are ready to help you and answer questions, help your engagement. So that's sort of our full, the way we go from A to Z. The way I sometimes express it is that we can be your foundation for you. Imagine almost a digital foundation. So that's the sort of level of service that we're willing and able to provide, in December certainly, but the other 11 months of the year as well. So I want to be mindful of our time and take any questions that we might have. So I'm seeing one here. So no cost is a really low number. Who is paying for our services? That's right. Low cost is, yeah, exactly right. So JCF is covering our costs. So for JCF Fundholders.
And we do this because we always have a budget for providing education and philanthropic services to our fund holders, and we do that in a variety of different ways, and we're always looking to build that out. So that is sort of built into our budget and the fabric of the philanthropic service offering here at JCF.
Great. So another question, who else does Goodnation work with? Great question. I can answer that a couple of ways. So we are in partnership with donor advised funds, with private wealth management firms, with financial advisors. So an array of ways to that we serve donors, or way in which we access donors that we can serve. Strong partnerships with foundations in the Jewish world and the non-sectarian world. So I think that Emily had clicked on the list. There's over, I think we're now over 35 foundations with whom we're partnered. And the idea there, just to stay on that idea for a moment, is that there's an incredible amount of expertise. So the top 10 foundations in the US, they spend over $1 billion in due diligence, research, ongoing monitoring. And that's not grant making. That is just to make sure that they're identifying the strongest groups, that they're identifying the new leaders, that they are, and then once the gifts or once the grants are made, that those organizations are capable of actually creating change. And so we're very excited to be partnered with groups with such a rich amount of information, and that does, as Emily pointed out, inform our selection process and enables us to get really, really high performing and high quality groups in front of our donors. Then ultimately it's your decision as you explore them to figure out what kind of work you think is most impactful and what kind of work you want to be involved with, you want to partner with, and you want to support.
I think we have time for another question or two if you want to address that, Rob.
Yeah. Just looking, oh, sorry, a little bit of a technical issue on our side. Let me get this right. Hold on. Yes, so a question about, do we facilitate volunteer opportunity introductions as well? Yes, we do. So it is part of our process. In the survey, we try to figure out the degree to which our donors want to be engaged, and then across all of all the charities on the platform, we understand what volunteer options are available, all the way up to the level of board service. So we can provide a wide range of options on that side as well.
Okay. I think at this point, we're going to wrap up the questions, although we may have a little time at the end of the webinar for additional questions. But I wanted to thank you, Rob, and Emily, for a great explanation about Goodnation. And we hope a lot more of our people will come and check this out. I know that we've been getting terrific feedback already from our fund holders who are using it. But now I'd like to shift gears so that we can learn about a terrific new resource that's going to launch shortly to help fund holders give to charities in Israel. JGive, the ASOR Fund, is committed to encouraging Jewish philanthropy around the world. JGive currently offers a growing digital online database of 900 vetted Israeli charities across multiple sectors. And since 2016, JGive enabled and directed more than $500,000 in donations. Ori Ben Shlomo, the founder and CEO of JGive, the ASOR Fund, will explain more about how this works. Ori focuses on strengthening the relationship between the diaspora and local Israeli communities. He established the JGive platform in order to transform Jewish giving, and it seems they're well on their way to doing that. In addition to his practice as a highly regarded attorney, Ori was chosen by Forbes Israel as one of the 30 under 30 most promising and influential young Israelis of 2018. And now I'd just like to turn the program over to Ori.
Thanks, Alan. Good afternoon, everyone, or here in Jerusalem, good evening. Thanks to Sue, Alan, Tamar, and the JCF team for hosting this event and making it possible. My name is Ori Ben Shlomo. As Alan said, I'm the CEO and founder of JGive. With me is Liat, who manages the philanthropic and partnership department at JGive. We want to tell you about JGive in general, how we collaborate with JCF, and how together we can work for you when you want to donate and to support Israel. JGive is the main venture of the ASOR Fund. The ASOR Fund was established in 2014 as a non-profit entity, hoping to encourage Jewish philanthropy around the world and to build new infrastructures for giving in Israel and to Israel. The ASOR Fund has supporters that want to change the face on Jewish philanthropy. In the past, as you know, people would write out checks and mail them to federation or to friends of charities, but times have changed, and in recent years, the internet has revolutionized many fields by removing the middleman. We just after the Black Fridays. So you can see, for example, Airbnb in tourism, Uber in transportation, and so on. I think this has changed the way consumers act, as they are now looking to get their product or service directly from the source. JGive has brought this reality to the world of giving in Israel by creating a digital platform where donors are the boss. You can choose directly to which charities you want to give and to do so with no middleman. Just like the example I gave of Airbnb, where people hoping to rent a room and communicate directly with the property owner, we make a connection between donors and Israeli charities. Let me give you some numbers reflecting the work we have done over the past 3 years. We have over 900 Israeli charities in our database, and through the generosity of around 200,000 donors, have transferred more than 180 million shekel, or it's like $50 million, to these charities. Broken down by year, in 2017, transferred $8 million. In 2018, last year, it was $14 million. And now in this year, 2019, we are close to hit the $30 million. As you can see, and we're happy that every year we grow exponentially. That's about JGive. 2 years ago, I met a friend who is originally from the US, today lives in Israel, and I think he is one of the best-known high-tech people in Israel. We spoke about JGive, and he told me that we must learn from a successful model in the US. I think the first example he gave was the JCF. He said that the JCF model works brilliantly in the US and has changed philanthropy and Jewish community in New York and in general. He also told me that when he, as a JCF holder, wants to donate to Israeli charities, sometimes he experiences difficulties in the process. As you know, because since there is no database of Israeli charities, so he needs to find sometimes the friends of or third party to facilitate a donation. Usually is a manual process and is a time-consuming process. So he had the idea that we can collaborate with JCF and build a bridge between the systems, connect JCF holders with JGive system. I told him it sounds great and we would happy to build it immediately. Introduced me to Sue, and since then we have worked together to make it happen. And I'm happy that today we can announce about it, and I hope you'll see it soon alive. I also hope and believe that this product will help you to support Israeli society in an easy way, secure way, knowing that money you are donating will go fully to nonprofits, and in short, to do the good that you already do, but just in an efficient way. So now I'll give the floor to Liat, who will explain how the platform works. And thank you very much. I'm looking forward to working with you. If you need anything, you can email me, Liat, or our support team, and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you.
Hi, just let me share the screen. Okay, Mike, sorry about that. I will now walk you through the process of the donating process. Welcome to JGive. We are so happy and excited to be able to connect the JCF fund holders to the Israeli philanthropy ecosystem. Once you locate JGive on the JCF site, you will be directed to this page containing all the JCF qualified charities. As already mentioned, JGive offers a variety of over 900 Israeli charities that are all eligible for tax-deductible donations according to the Israeli Tax Authority, and all are recognized by the Israeli government for their proper money management. Please make sure you are donating in dollars and not shekels, and that at all times the filter of JCF qualified is selected. In order for you to find a nonprofit, you could search manually or sort by different options, most funded or most recent. We'll go to most funded.
Yeah, I'm not sure everyone's seeing the screen. Can you double check that to make sure you're sharing the screen?
I'm sorry about that. Shall we start? Can you see the screen now?
Now, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's better. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, so welcome to JGive. This is our site. I will walk you through the donating process. Please make sure once you locate JGive on the JCF site, you will be going towards this site, this page. This is what you'll see. Make sure, please, that your JCF qualified is selected and you're donating in dollars and not shekels. Okay. In order to select a nonprofit you want to donate to, You could or do it manually by the search or sorted by different categories. There's an option to add a secondary category. Let's select health and illness. On each charity, you will find a clear description of its mission. Once you have chosen a charity that is close to your heart, select it for further information. Each charity has a profile page containing JGive's Transparency Index. You can find further information about the charity, contact information, and JGive's unique transparency metrics. The percent you see here on the right is the ratio between the money that you donate to the nonprofit, what goes exactly and straight to the programs the nonprofit runs, and what goes to general and administrative expenses. So once you see this, you'll know exactly how much of your donation goes straight to the programs that you want to support. Once you have decided to make a grant request, select Donate. Fill in the amount you wish to donate. There is a minimum donation requirement of $36. You could add a comment. Then you could go to Add to Cart and continue on donating to other charities, or press Donate Now. Here you'll fill in your personal information. I selected already in advance. There's no need to give your specific number. It's not necessary, so please feel free just to dial any numbers and select Continue. Once you get here, please choose Use your JCF fund as a payment method, complete and receive a code. Once you select that, you'll be given a giving code. Here you could see it on the screen. At the same time, you will be sent an automatic email to the email you listed that contains the information to complete the grant recommendation on your JCF account. You could log in here directly to your JCF fund. Okay, once you log into your JCF fund, you could choose, please, JGive Friends of a Soul as a guarantee. Enter the total amount you wish to donate via JGive. Fill in the purpose of the donation. Insert this code into the purpose field, and you submit your grant. As simple as that. Once you do that, we'll get a memo from the JCF, and we'll know exactly to what nonprofit we should direct the grant to. So I'll be happy to answer any questions regarding the donating process, regarding JGive. Me and Ari are here.
I was just, it's Ellen, I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about this vetting process that you go through with the charities so people understand, you know, how you come to these scores and what goes into that research process.
Okay, happily. So all nonprofits that are on our site, all are eligible for tax deduction, similar to the 501c3. In Israel, it's called Seif al-Beshish 46, and all are recognized by the government as proper money manager. So all the nonprofits were vetted by the government itself, and we only let upon our site, our platform, those two are a must for us. After that, we do our index, and we go through the financial reports of each nonprofit, and we see what the ratio is between the money, the money you donate to the nonprofit, what goes into the programs they run, and what goes, of course, you have to pay salaries and etc. So we just show the donor exactly how much of the donation is really going to these, the cause itself. Of course, we show the number of employees, number of volunteers, and we also give here, I hope you could see, an option to go to the Israeli Guide Star. Sadly, I checked, but the site is only in Hebrew. But I hope people would be able to. I could go in now and show you how it looks. There's even further information. You could get directly all the reports, all information, the top 5 salaries. Everything is really easy and accessible.
Any other questions at all? I know there was a question earlier that I think both of you can address, Rob or Liat, asking if all of does the information from charities just come from publicly available documents, or do you get specific, I guess, financial reports and annual reports from charities, and do you have any direct contact or site visits with them?
Yeah, maybe I can jump in on that one first, if that's
Sure.
okay. Yeah, so Rob Hansen here. Yeah, so we have direct contact with our charities, and the information that you see on the platform is information that is provided directly by those charities. And we do a combination in the scoring that Emily had shown. It is a combination of information they're providing us, as well as publicly available data. We look at 5 years of data, and we really, the point and purpose of it is to understand financial stability and understand trends over time. And so we definitely don't want to punish any group for a year where there was maybe there was one small issue. We're really trying to figure out, is each organization, do they have that foundation that's required to be able to have an impact? I'm very, very interested in that. Very, very interested in governance. That's really important for us. Also looking at leadership and looking at impact and that's the information they're providing us, as well as our partners at foundations. To the question, site visits for sure. They both come to us. We go to them. We spend as much time in the field as we can, and when we can't get to them, on video and in any which way, always. We're really aiming to be as closely connected as possible.
So thank you, Rob. I also want to address that question. As I mentioned, so we also vet each of the tax authority, and the government vets them, but we ourselves, we have a really close connection to all 900 nonprofits that are registered on our platform. As before we agree for them to go on our platform, we, as I said, also, we ask for all their financial reports. We go through everyone. We have a direct personnel that we are continuously speaking to. We solve their problems. We speak to all of our nonprofits on a daily basis. And we're basically the bridge between the nonprofits and the donors.
Great, thank you both. I just guess lastly, and both of you could address this, it's a slightly broader question, but how do you see the growing use of these digital philanthropic tools? And as you spoke about earlier, Ori, the diminishing need for an intermediary and increased contact between the charities and the donors themselves. How do you see that changing philanthropy as we move forward? Some thoughts on that? Rob or Ori or Liat, anyone who wants to answer?
I can jump in if that's okay, Ori.
Yeah.
So I think Ori is exactly right that the landscape is changing. I think the way what we're very excited about, or actually let me go back to my own history. So I worked I've been working in nonprofits, in fundraising, in that space my entire career, and founded Goodnation in part because of a moment of frustration where I was working for an amazing organization that everybody should have been funding. They were doing really incredible work with young people in the Bronx in New York, where we're located, and unfortunately had to close that program. And it was, for me, personally and professionally, very, very difficult. And just made me think a lot about how donors find what's meaningful to them. And obviously the inverse of that, how donors sometimes don't find pretty incredible groups. And often, as we know, funds are raised more than they're given. And so we're looking to change that balance. And so to have more people think about what they care about and give to what they care about. And we see the digital tools that are now becoming available to people, access to information, the ease of execution, all of that. And for us, an algorithm that matches, so that piece of technology, very important for us, that these tools, in our view, will create more giving and ideally better giving, right? That the groups that are the most effective at what they're doing, they should be growing. Right? They shouldn't be struggling. They should definitely not be closing. They should be the ones expanding. And frankly, the groups that are not doing incredible work shouldn't be doing work. So we see a lot of these moves into the digital space as being ways, hopefully, for the best programs to flourish and for people to be able to have a view into it and see. Obviously, JGive as well. It seems on transparency. So we're hopeful that these are positive changes.
We also want to address that question. And also Jeremy Greenberg asked if I wasn't clear enough. JGive is not not taking a cut of any grant. 100% of your donation is going directly to the nonprofit. So the question is that the 88% that you could see on my screen, it's the 88% of the donation that goes to the nonprofit is how much, 88% is how much they're spending on the cause itself. And the other 12% is nothing to do with JGive. It's internal decisions that they make to support and to pay salaries and any administrative expenses that they have. So nothing goes to JGive. That's just to answer that question. And we agree 100% with Rob, the transparency, the option of having a donor see exactly what's going on the nonprofit, being able to see exactly where the donation, the money is being directed to. We also offer a direct conversation between the nonprofit and the donor. So anything that comes up or any information that wants to be shown and all the transparency, we believe that it'll just make the nonprofits themselves act and be super alert and knowing that always they need to answer questions and make sure that their mission is always against their eyes. Ori, do you want to add anything?
Yeah. Okay. First about technology. So I think if you ask any charity in Israel, for example, who is the segment that it's very hard to get donations from, they will tell you the millennials, the new generations. And what we can see through our JGive, our platform, when we speak in advanced language of the millennials, like we are working in social media and places like that, that also this generation donate much more than in general. For example, in our numbers, in all the 200,000 donors that we have in our database, we can see that 50% of them, they're under the age of 35. And this is, this is amazing. We can't see those numbers in any other tool, and how we can help to connect the new generation to philanthropy. this is about this question.
Thanks. Maybe you can just answer that last question about if you don't take a cut from the charities, who besides Jewish Communal Fund, obviously, you know, we're supporting this effort for our fund holders to ensure 100% of their contribution funnels through you directly to the charity. But in general, where do you get your support?
Okay, so thank you for that question. I know exactly what goes on here in the Israeli ecosystem with donations. We're the only platform. We are a nonprofit ourselves, so we are we get support from philanthropies that just support and believe in the mission and the way. Basically, once you support us, you support us, but indirectly you support lots of nonprofits that will just make it available for people to donate directly to. So we have our own philanthropies that support us, and that's what makes it possible. We do take not the JCF, not the specific partnership, but on the daily basis, we take 2.5% of the donation that goes directly to the credit cards. So also then we don't make a profit. We are based on donations that are towards the SOAR fund. And again, JCF case, they are the JCF. We're making sure that 100% of the donation is going directly to the nonprofit. We don't have any fees for, of course, credit card. It is going through other directly, not through the credit cards. So the 100% of the fund holders of JCF is going towards the nonprofit.
Great. I think that's all we really have time for. I want to thank all of our speakers. We are so excited about these relationships and an ability to really further educate our fund holders and give them access to this amazing resource, so much data and information that can either deepen their giving within a particular interest area or sector, or in fact broaden some of what they are funding so that there's greater synergy between the different issues they're funding. So this has been terrific. Thank you, Rob and Ori and Liat. It was great to have you today. We will be—
Ellen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's just one question regarding organizations that might not be in our database. We are more than happy.
I don't want to get into organizations right now, only because we don't ever speak to organizations in any database, including our own. It's all,
I'm sorry.
All of our information and the philanthropic services are totally focused on the funder side. But I would say if people have some more specific questions, they can feel free to reach out to Liat and Ori or to Emily and Rob. Their contact information will be in the follow-up, and we'll again provide information about how to access these new tools. We should be launching within a few weeks with JGive. We're just figuring out a few things on our end, so it will be seamless. Our relationship with Goodnation is up and running, but you'll be getting plenty of information from Jewish Communal Fund. And of course, you can reach out to me at any time if you have questions, but we will provide all of the contact information. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Ellen.